It's become a Twitter, TikTok, YouTube social media genre of its own. Groups of men creating honey traps for men they say want to meet underage girls. These videos then usually proceed with these groups of men beating the hell out of the men they have ensnared and then upload that content for views, clicks, likes, and user approval. Some are very questionable, such as grown men beating up 18-year-old boys for meeting 16-year-old girls. Either way, it's become a popular niche category of online vigilantism. But that's not this kind of age gap that we'll be talking about in this video. That's something wholly different. What we'll be talking about is adult romance and the new online moral panic and the latest storm brewing online over age gap relationships, particularly where older men date younger women. So what's the deal? Why are these female keyboard crusaders so filled with malice? Is it jealousy, a feminist agenda, or are they just bored and need a new hobby, something like taxidermy or reverse shoplifting perhaps? How many of you on X have come across this exact post of some feminist Karen lashing out with rage and bile that men dating younger women are predators? It's literally pedophilia. My favorite tweet, case in point. Over on Reddit, because of course, the women on that site, they pile on hard, calling these men in age gap relationships creepy, and the women gold diggers with daddy issues. But let's be clear, it's a sanctimony trifecta of the shrill. And it is also very clear that these women wish to replicate their unhappiness upon others. And of course, social media amplifies this outrage, especially Reddit, which unironically is often painted as a den of jealous, aging women and feminized low testosterone men pushing a warped moral agenda. And speaking of things that don't need sanctimonious policing and to help boost your testosterone, how about indulging in some chocolate that can really activate the libido? Joe Rogan, whom I'm assuming most of you know, is in his 50s and proves that peak health is possible at any age. He himself recovered from COVID in days. In the following clip, he is discussing with an expert in his field declining testosterone, sexual health, and the growing reliance on Viagra, even amongst young men.
There's this massive upswing in the amount of people in their 20s and 30s that are taking Viagra. Oh. And they're saying it's because their testosterone has dropped so much that it's really difficult for them to perform sexually.
Well, there's also microplastics. Microplastics, right. Which is
glyphosate and microplastics are some of the biggest things.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are disrupting our endocrine system.
Yeah,
testosterone is dropping fast, pushing young men to Viagra, but it's risky. Low blood pressure, dizziness, and even heart problems. This aphrodisiac chocolate, unlike Viagra, uses Icarian, a natural herb to boost blood flow and testosterone safely and without the side effects. Plus, it has Tonkat Ali for libido, energy, and stamina, as well as overall well-being. And the best part is you can try this sex chocolate with its amazing buy two, get one free offer already applied at the website. So go check out the sponsor of today's video. I'd appreciate it if you did. Links are down below, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. I know I am. First, let's tackle this Reddit-induced paranoia of pedophilia nonsense head on. Calling a 30 or 40-year-old man dating a 23-year-old woman pedophilia is as intelligent as a head of lettuce. Pedophilia is about prepubescent kids, not about consenting adults that can drive, vote, marry. Alexander the Great was conquering empires at 20. And in antiquity, 30-year-old legionnaires, well, they married teenage girls after a decade of service. Historically, age gaps were as normal as the glory of Rome. Yet, these online wine ants clutch pitchforks over brain development at 25. Junk science, since your brain's tweaking and changing from the womb till you dance yourself into the tomb. Now, why the raging kerfuffle? Exhibit A, jealousy, and it's spicier than a tabloid scoop. These online wine ants, bless their hearts, are steaming because time is a cruel mistress. And when you're pushing 40 or 50, watching Chad at 45 snag Stacy at 23, well, it stings like tequila with no lime. Biologically, men chase youth. 23-year-olds are fertile, fresh, and let's be real, still have a dozen eggs in the carton rather than the 3/4 empty that most older women are packing. It's simply a biological fact that men are attracted to youth as a vector of fertility. Women, well, they're wired differently. They're wired for status and resources. Think Brad Pitt, George Clooney, Tom Cruise, Elon Musk. All would have no problem if they so chose to get with whatever age of a woman they wanted. And sadly, women are hitting the wall younger and younger and younger than they ever have before, based on things like diet and lifestyle. Men age like wine, women age like milk, or so the old adage goes. There are those that argue that women's stated preference for same-age partners is a socially acceptable facade, in that there are many teenage girls, they say, that crave older men and are only limited by access. Studies and graphs, well, they get waved off. Self-reported data doesn't match raw reality. Terms like roasties or cat ladies do crop up and are crude labels, but they are crude labels for those allegedly bitter from wasted youth, now shaming men's natural inclinations and also steering women toward potentially regretful paths. Awful sites like Reddit and its voting system fuels this, rewarding conformity over nuance. The hypocrisy stands out. Society trusts 20-year-olds with war, debt, and ballots, yet the women on Reddit call them too immature for romance. On one side, older women dating younger men, well, it earns praise. Cougar is a badge of honor. But when men do the reverse, well, they face being tarred with pedophile slurs, which exposes a clear double standard. Age gap critics harp on about power imbalances, but defenders counter that relationships aren't about equality, but about mutual gain. Youth for stability, experience for vitality. Sadly, many of these critics are post-wall, single, or deluded women that think men owe them a ring post the carousel that they've been riding since their late teens. They are enraged that they're not getting one, and they want to bring all other women down with them. And why do they care so much? Projection, perhaps, bad exes, or a squandered youth. Or more probably, they're pissed that men are ditching the playbook. Women trade youth, men trade cash and experience. But now women have jobs, power, options, but men still want youth. Feminism's delayed marriage pushed promiscuity, it's crashed birth rates, leaving men with slim, fertile pickings and women with lonely, cat-filled futures. Want a radical fix? Perhaps marry a woman in their early 20s to lock in stability, since late 20s, early 30s promiscuity breeds regret. The half your age plus 7 rule, once a guideline, well, it's now drowned out by shrill policing of private choices. Reddit and Twitter threads brim with sanctimonious, "think of the children," ignoring that these children are adults with agency. It's an existential clash. Modern norms prioritizing lust over duty, leaving men uninspired and women unfulfilled. A dystopia where traditional roles are mocked, yet quietly missed. The fallout societal too. Women's freedom, some say, has crashed family structures. Men avoid used-up partners while older women decry younger women's choices to mask their own isolation. On X, you'll see posts lamenting men trading down, while Reddit threads warn younger women against older suitors. Advice, I might add, often tinged with envy. And sadly, the outrage feels personal, rooted in a sense of betrayal by a culture that promised women equality, but has delivered them crushing loneliness in their later years. Put simply, this current online moral panic is a stew of envy, outdated norms, and sanctimonious sass, spiced with hypocrisy and a dash of regret. And the angry cat ladies, I'm sorry, but the angry cat ladies will keep raging, projecting their personal failures onto consenting adults. To those women that are raging about these age gap relationships, I have one piece of advice for you outraged gals. Trade the keyboard for a vibrator. Same energy, better outcome. So what do you think? Is there any hope, or is our society too far gone down this particular rabbit hole for genders to ever reach something that resembles a détente? Tell me what you think in the comments section below. Also, remember to check to see that you're still subscribed, and on your way out, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, remember to check out my sponsor. Links are in the description for their amazing Amore chocolate. With that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.